Hi there and welcome to Influence, a show all about the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. I'm your host, Jessica Graves. I'm excited to have a couple of guests today from the Agricultural Economics Department. Dr. Fox, welcome, and why don't you introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about who you are?
Thank you very much, Jessica. Pleasure to be here. So my name is Sean Fox. It's actually John, but I've always gone by Sean, which is the Irish for John. I'm from Ireland originally. I grew up on a small farm in the west of Ireland. We had 40 acres, which is pretty small by American standards. But I ended up going to grad school in the US at Iowa State.
Yeah.
And then I spent over 20 years on the faculty at Kansas State University. Then I moved to Illinois for about 6 years where I was department head, and I came down to Mississippi State here on November 1. That was my first day, so I'm still feeling my way around the campus.
Very fresh.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
So how have those first few weeks been, and what are some of the things that you've kind of hit the ground doing, maybe with faculty and just kind of building some camaraderie perhaps between your faculty and students?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. It's a really collaborative, collegial environment in the department, in the college, in the campus.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the town, the environment here in the town. Learning about Southern culture and all that, because it's all new to me. But what I'm trying to do in the first few weeks here is really get to know our faculty, our staff, to put myself in a situation where I can speak better about their programs, their individual programs, what they do. So that's one of my major short-term goals.
Yeah.
Longer term, it's all about growing our programs, diversifying our programs, and probably getting our message out a little bit better. I think the campus here and the college have this initiative to amplify our message, and I'm certainly on board with that.
Yeah. So sometimes those messages are developed organically through experiences, and I think you'll probably get more of those under your belt soon. But what about, do you have some ideas maybe already on ways to kind of maybe break down any existing barriers and help faculty collaborate with each other within the department, outside the department, or maybe even getting students involved in research projects or internships, those kinds of things?
I think one of the biggest barriers to collaboration, maybe interdisciplinary collaboration, is that people simply just don't know enough about what each other do. And one of the ideas that I really like is just bringing people together, perhaps in social settings, or in a situation where they can maybe give a very quick lightning talk about the project that they're working on, the problem they're working on, in front of an interdisciplinary group. And I think that's a way to make connections, because people can then find something that they can relate to, and partnerships, collaborations can grow organically from those kinds of interactions, I believe.
And then that messaging on your part is a little bit easier when you have a really solid understanding of who people are and what they're doing, what their projects are that they're working on.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about the student aspect of things. And so perhaps one of the best kept secrets of the Agricultural Economics Department, you guys have several different you have a couple different majors and then concentrations within those majors.
That's right.
But talk about maybe the complementary nature of the agribusiness degree, maybe some leveraging points for potential students for careers, maybe graduate school opportunities. What does that look like?
Oh, I think so. One of our biggest undergraduate program is our agribusiness degree. We have 3 concentrations within that: one in production, one in management, one in policy and law. But an agribusiness degree, the way I like to think about it is, it's the business school that students should be looking at if they have any interest in working on the business side of the food and ag sector. And there are so many opportunities in that sector. The job placement rate is fantastic from an agribusiness degree. So again, I think of it as the business school for that sector. We have marketing, we have management, we have finance, all of our students take accounting, we have the data analytics, we've got all that on top of the applied economics. It's a really great training. The other thing that we have is the connections. Our faculty have those connections to industry, and it's one of the reasons that our job placement rate is so strong. Starting salaries are really strong. So again, for any student looking at the business side of ag and food, an agribusiness degree is really what they should be looking at, I believe.
And I would agree 100%. I told you offset that I did take some agribusiness courses as a student here at Mississippi State, and definitely the quality of education that I was able to gain through that coursework was phenomenal. So I am excited to have you as the new department head here in the Ag Econ department, and we look forward to all the wonderful things that you're going to do in the coming years. We'll keep you around for a while.
I'm looking forward to it too. Yeah, thanks very much, Jessica.
All right, up next, we're going to hear from Ms. Shelby Sledge. She's a current graduate student in the Master of Agribusiness Management program. Stay tuned.
Think you know ag? Think again.
We are creative.
We protect the environment.
We prepare for careers in medicine and conduct research.
We empower people and communities.
We are technology driven.
And we feed and clothe the world. We are the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences at Mississippi State University.
Hi there, and welcome back to Influence. With me is Ms. Shelby Sledge, current graduate student in the Master of Agribusiness Management program. Welcome, Shelby. Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about who you are and maybe what your academic background is?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me this morning. Like I said, my name is Shelby Sledge, and I'm from Pelahatchie, Mississippi. I got really heavily involved in agriculture through my 4-H and FFA clubs when I was in high school, and so I decided to pursue my bachelor's degree in animal and dairy science here at Mississippi State University. And I just couldn't get enough, so I had to get back and pursue my master's degree in agribusiness management here at Mississippi State.
And that seems to be an extremely good fit for you. We've kind of talked a little bit about the very complementary nature of the agribusiness degree programs for students that are maybe, you know, in your case, you were animal and dairy sciences and then matriculated into the master's degree program. So talk about maybe the complementary nature and what you're really gaining to prepare you for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel like in my animal and dairy science background, it really kind of laid a hard foundation, like a hard science foundation for me. So coming into my master's program was kind of a different side of the industry that I really wasn't kind of used to. And so I feel like they complement each other very well, in the fact that I feel like now I can make better business decisions because I do have that production knowledge, whereas, you know, most people coming from strictly a business background wouldn't necessarily have those production aspects that I do. So I feel like that's one of the biggest complementary skills that so far that I've gathered, is just making me a more well-rounded individual within the industry.
Yeah, I would agree 100% with that. And you're also getting some extremely hands-on and practical experiences using that animal and dairy sciences background or general maybe crop production knowledge that you have, and complementing that with your agribusiness management degree program. Talk about those projects that you're currently working on.
Yeah, so right now I'm currently a graduate research assistant for Mississippi State Extension. I've been working on the Promise Initiative, RFM, which focuses on resiliency and farm management. And so my role kind of in that initiative has been to develop this Canvas course for producers to be able to take and utilize throughout the state of Mississippi, and kind of hone in and develop some of those financial analysis skills for them, and kind of ways to increase their overall farm financial health, and how that ties into the farm stresses that producers face every day and the mental health side of that. So it's feeling really interesting for me to kind of see another light shed on the agriculture industry and being able to be involved with that.
And that is something that's going to have a lasting impact on those farmers and ranchers that you're being able to work with.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about maybe what you want to do next once you finish graduate school. This is the million-dollar question. But what are you thinking that your current professional career aspirations are so far?
Yeah, so I definitely want to stay in animal agriculture. I feel like I have a really deep passion for that, and it goes deep, runs through my blood. But I do also enjoy that management side and communicating with different types of individuals, and so kind of tying those two aspects together, but staying definitely in an animal agriculture company. However, through my master's program, I have been given the opportunity to kind of dive into agriculture commodity markets, which has really been interesting to me. I didn't get a lot of that from my undergrad, so I was really excited to have a new opportunity with my master's program. So just trying to scope out the best opportunity, and really excited to see where my career goes.
Yeah, certainly. So you've walked in the shoes of an undergraduate student here at Mississippi State and now a graduate student at Mississippi State. What would you say, what's a word of advice that you may give to those students considering Mississippi State, considering Animal and Dairy Sciences, or in this case particularly the MABN program? What words of advice do you have?
I would say, I know people probably hear this all the time, but what you put in is what you're going to get out, and just go into it open-minded and see where the opportunities take you. I could never imagine sitting here today that I would have the opportunities that I do and the connections that I've made. So just go into it, you know, open-hearted and see where it can take you, because there's a bunch of good faculty here that can connect you and bring you further than you probably ever thought you could.
That's outstanding advice, and you hear me talk a lot about relationships and building those connections and building a professional network, and it seems like you've had a lot of good opportunities to do that through your experiences. All right, quickly, where's your favorite place on campus and why?
I would probably have to say South Farm. I'm a very much outdoorsy person, and just kind of being out there in nature kind of clears my head and the stress of school, and kind of brings me back to my roots, and it's just so beautiful out there. I love it.
I agree. Well, thanks for spending a little bit of time with us today. I know you have a busy schedule, but I want to say thank you and have a good Christmas holiday.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
That's going to do it for this episode of Influence. I hope to see you back next time.